Hey guys, today I will be setting up a CHP Ford Explorer 2021 with custom ELS. Here's a quick look at it. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so first we're going to go ahead and grab our car. For this, I'm going to be using a free model. Alright, just going to go ahead, drop it in, whatever. Alright, and then we're going to go through and just go ahead and take out all of the stuff we will not need. So for this, we don't need auto doors, we do not need motors. The seats we will keep. The HSC tune we will also keep. And then for these, we will just delete them. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and start organizing our stuff. So I'm going to add folder, ELS, duplicate that, make this vehicle doors, and then we will do vehicle lighting. All right. Now we're going to go under lights and we're going to start stripping the lights from the cruiser and making them AG compatible. So we do not need that. For brake lights, we can go ahead and delete these. And then these are the two things we are looking for. So we're going to go ahead and throw these under vehicle lighting. Perfect. They've already got lights for us. And then we're going to rename them brake. We're going to rename them rear lights because these lights on the 2021 Explorer are turned on whenever the headlights are on or when the vehicle is braking. So the rear light for the AG chassis will activate under those two conditions. Now we can delete these. All right, DRL, so we can go ahead and delete all of those, and markers. So this is a daytime running light marker, and same on the other side. And then we have the tail lights, and as you can see, like I said, these are on when the headlights are on. That is what a running light is. So you can go ahead and delete these. And then obviously the Explorer has the front running lights above the headlights. So we're going to go ahead, take these, move these, and then we're going to rename them to running. Oh my goodness. Running light. And for this, I'm going to grab one of my other builds just so I make sure that I'm naming everything correctly. So we're going to grab my NYPD unmarked Explorer. We're just going to have it off to the side and just have it open. Let's see, vehicle lighting, running light. Yep, perfect, cool, awesome. Rear lights. Yep, awesome. Okay. All right. We're gonna keep doing that, so we can delete that. High beams. We can go ahead and delete these, and these are the two we need, and throw it under vehicle lighting. And perfect, hazard lights. So we just need to call these high. I believe they're called highlights. Let's check. No, they're called high beam. High beam. Perfect. We can delete that now. Left. Delete all of that. G1, here we go. So obviously our left is going to be left turn. This as well will be a left turn. And we see that the daytime running light on the 2021 and up Explorers are also the daytime running lights. So easy, simple fix. It's amazing about AG chassis is we're going to find that, all right, and we're going to do running light left. And that should activate whenever, it should start blinking whenever we activate our left turning signal. So that's going to imply that this is also a running light right. And this should activate and start blinking whenever we activate our right turn signal. All right, now for our low beam, these are just going to be called headlights. Then we're going to move it up here and delete that. reverse lights. Drag that up here, and I believe they are called rev light. Let's just double check here again. Yep, rev light. Amazing. Can delete that. And lastly, our right turn. We can just drag this one up and call this right turn. Awesome. Look at that. We've already got all of our lights done. Now we are going to just go through the rest of these, make sure we're not front play. I like to just go ahead and ungroup the extra groups in here just so that we don't get confused. Exhaust smoke, I believe that is a duplicate of what we have here. Yes, it is. So we are going to go ahead and just delete these and then leave the leave these there. All right, now I did see we have fog lights, which we can just go ahead and delete because the police version of the Explorer, or at least the CHP one, I believe, does not actually have fog lights showing on it. And then the headlight housing, we will go ahead and keep, but ungroup. Awesome. Paint, awesome. All right, see this vehicle's already well organized. We're just gonna go ahead and take a look at the inside. Everything looks great, nice. I will say typically for weapons inside a vehicle, especially when they look like this, they're going to be extremely laggy. And sometimes they may have leftover items. So it would just be recommended that you go through here and ensure that there is no leftover scripts or just excess junk that you need. But it's looking like this one does not have it. So we can go ahead and close that out. And we do have a dome light in here. So we are going to remove that. And I'm going to put it in vehicle lighting for now, but I may move it later because I have a special script for that I like to use to make that actually function. And then lastly, we have this random number generator. We're just going to go ahead and delete the script because I do not want to have any excess scripts on this. Just like to have a plain number. We'll put 918 for the roof number. Then we can go ahead and close that out. And now we can move on to installing the chassis. So we're just going to go ahead, copy this over. And for those who don't have it, there's a link in the GS Studio group or Discord that should have the chassis for you. So taking a look at the plugins, this does have the two plugins that I was already going to add. So we have the Dome Light controller, and then we have the exhaust smoke. So we're going to go ahead and get our exhaust smoke set up. So we're just going to compare it to how it is set up on here and see what we need to do. So exhaust smoke. Yep, looks like it's already set up pretty much the same way. Exhaust smoke. Yep, awesome. So we should just be good to go with the exhaust smoke there. And then now we need to double check the dome light, which is going to be, yep, under vehicle lighting, but I did have to set up a little bit different. So we're just going to reference that. And folder, call it dome. Let's see, dome light. We're just going to go ahead and copy those over. And then let's see how I did this. Okay, so red light, white light. Okay. So it's gonna be like this. So we're gonna call this our light. This will be our red light. We won't need these. Does this set up how I think? Yeah, it does have a spotlight. We'll copy over that mesh. Unless it already has it. No, it does not. Paste into, awesome. And we're just going to take a look at what these mesh lights look like. So this is our blue. So I do not like to use a blue interior light because I feel like it's not realistic. But there's our red. So awesome. We will just double check. It's called Light 01. Light 01 and Spotlight. Light 01 and Spotlight. I will make this red for the red light, and then we'll call this Light 01. Then we're going to duplicate this. Call this W light. This will be enable that. Turn white one. Awesome. We will do that. Just make it not as bright as a white light, and then we should be good to go with our dome light. So now, at this point, what I like to do is I just like to go ahead and test out. Make sure we've got everything good and going. I'm going to go ahead and copy over the sounds, but we'll change these in a little bit. All right, so obviously the doors have fallen away because we have not set up the doors yet. And everything else looks pretty good in working order. Okay, so we do see the native Roblox speed HUD is still up, which we will fix in a moment. Let's see, the car starts, perfect. Our running lights activate. I'm gonna turn on our headlights, perfect. You can see that they work. You can see that they illuminate down here as well. We're gonna turn on our high beams. Everything looks good. And we're just gonna turn off our lights and then activate. Oh, that's our horn. Right turn signal. Yep, that's working. And that is working. Our left turn. Working. We're gonna check our brake lines. So there's our reverse. Alright, let's see. Brake, awesome. Perfect. Okay. And one final thing here. Oh, we do see the exhaust smoke is working. It increases whenever we accelerate. Awesome. Our brake, however, there we go. Now it's working. I don't know why that was giving us a hard time. And lastly, our dome light. It did fly away on me. So that might indicate that it is likely not anchored. So let's double check. Now it is anchored. I don't know why it would do that. Oh, okay. I'm not concerned about that at the moment. So our next thing to be will be to set up our working doors. So to do that, I like to set them up each as individual models. We'll create 5 for each door. We'll have FR for front right, FL for front left, RR for rear right, and RL for rear left. Then we will have TK for trunk. And then under that, we will have to make each a model that is just called door. Oh, I'm a genius. I put door instead of model. I'll just copy these over and then paste into selected. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead, start from the left to right, top to bottom. So here we go, front door. And as you can see, actually, they're already perfectly set up for this. So all we have to do is copy all of this over. Front left will, oh shoot, I forgot to cut, and under the door, paste into add original location. Door. As you can see, there are some excess sounds and things, so we will just go ahead and leave this for now, and we'll get this cleaned up whenever we finish setting up the door, or get ready to do the scripting aspect of the door. We can delete this front left now, front right. I'm just going to go ahead and do this without talking because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. So we've gotten this set up, and now we are going to keep moving on. So first thing I want to go ahead and make you guys aware of is that in the trunk, we do in fact have a brake light here. And I will say that the brake lights do not does not matter if it is under the vehicle lighting or not. I just do, however, like to keep it under there because it is nice to have it organized, but it does not matter where it is actually located. I will, however, make this smooth plastic just so that it's not brightly illuminated. And I'm gonna change the color on it just because I don't like that color. I'm gonna make it that. Yeah, that looks about good. Actually, this is terracotta. We'll go ahead and copy. Ah, I see what they did. We'll do how they did it here. We'll have this be our neon, but then we will make it, or actually I'll leave it dusty rose. Allow this to remain as neon, make it transparent, duplicate it, remove the light from it, just call it mesh part, and then we will make it visible, make it smooth plastic, and then make it that, and then we're just going to slightly set it back just so that, or, well, I guess we can't set it back any further, so slightly bring the brake light forward so that they do not have any clipping issues. Now for armor, okay, we do not need to worry about any of this. We'll leave the glass the same way because it looks fine. And yes, okay. So now we are going to take a look at these SS's and we're going to take a look at their orientation. So we can right click on it and view orientation indicator. And so you can see the F in the little green arrow. The F indicates the front and the green arrow indicates the top. So we're just going to go ahead and reference our door on here. And you can see it is oriented correctly. So we are just going to, oh, I selected the wrong thing. We can actually get rid of these. We can call this hinge, or we need to call it hinge. And then we need to duplicate it and put it under FL as well. So there should be two total. One under the actual door and one under the like overarching model. And you can see that here too. We are going to also put our door close and door open sounds under and then and do that. So let's go ahead and do that. Door open, door close, Control X. We can delete these now. Then just paste into original, boom. And now we can go ahead and do that for every single one here. All right, cool. So now we've got that set up. We are going to move into testing it out. Oh, wait, before we do that, we can go ahead and get rid of these excess parts under MISC, and now our MISC is completely cleared. All right, let's test out the car and see how it runs for now. All right, cool. This is a good sign. We are getting the little interaction. We are getting the little click icon. We'll test it out. Okay. Okay, yes, so it's just the studio still loading things. Why is it giving me that option? Okay, we need to figure out this issue with the different cursor. However, the door did open. The trunk did as well open. I did see a little bit of clipping. Okay, it's just decal there. Awesome. And I'm going to zoom. Okay, so this is a common issue, the door opening backwards. I will show you how to fix that. So this is our issue here. So we're going to go take a look at the orientation, and you can see that is the same as the front door. However, we're going to check our back door and see how our back door is orientated. As you can see, it is upside down. So that's a very common issue. Um, so just make sure your right side doors are like this, and you're going to go ahead and make sure you do it for both. So I'm going to show the orientation indicator and awesome, flip it around. Boom. Cool. I did see that the dome light did fall through again, so we are still having issues with this thing. I am not 100% sure why. I guess we can figure that out later, but we're going to test out our doors, just make sure they're still good. Let's see. Cool. Opens correctly. Oh, we forgot to check out the issue with the door looking like that. Cool. Cool. Let's wait for those two to open. Any day now, just studio being, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so all our doors open correctly. And this car actually looks pretty nice. So let's go ahead and just test this out very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and test out our lights. Cool. So we press minus, that showed up. It should switch to red. That showed up. Amazing, and off. Okay. Oh, and we forgot to turn off the default Roblox HUD. So that's what we are going to do next. All right. So to turn off the default Roblox HUD, super easy. Just go under the drive seat. Just go to your properties, scroll down. You'll see heads up display. Just make sure that's unchecked. We're going to go ahead and make sure that's unchecked for all of these, and it actually does not exist for all of these, so amazing. Okay, now we are going to do a little bit of it. I'm going to start working on the sirens. We will do the ELS last just because that's going to be the most time consuming. Right, so to do the sirens, let's go ahead. All right, so CHP only uses 3 sirens. All right, so they only use a whale and a yelp. So we will not need a priority for this. We can leave the manual, we can leave the horn, we can leave the park sound. This is actually the parking brake sound. So when you activate your parking brake, this will play. All right, and then whale, yelp. So since we removed the priority, we need to go in here and make sure that the priority here under sirens and horns is set to false. All right, so yep, so we just have horn, manual, yelp, and whale. Alrighty. So let's go to our workspace, uh, and then we will go to where's audio at? Oh, Jesus, I can't find it. Shit, oh, right here, in front of my face. Okay, so we will search up just CHP, and yep, looks like someone's already got it uploaded. Wow, that is loud. Okay, perfect. We will copy the right click, copy as to ID, and then we will set that for our whale and manual. Paste that under sound ID. And then we will try and get our Yelp as well. That's the horn. So we will copy that, go under horn, put that. Amazing. And then we need our Yelp. That is the old school Yelp. What about this? Perfect. This is the newer Yelp. So we go under YP, paste, and amazing. Let's just go ahead, click play, test it out, give it a little test. All right, let's hear them. So they are still a little bit loud. Yeah, So the sirens are a little bit loud. So if we just want to turn them down, we can go under here and we can edit the volume. So I'm going to set that to about 0.75 and we'll go back and test it in a little bit. But now we will move into the dreaded part, and that is ELS. So for this, I will be making a custom ELS pattern. So to begin, we are just going to go ahead, go under ELS, copy our colors, have it set up blue, red, yellow, amazing. Paste into there, and then we will do our folder and call it PTRNS. You can call it whatever you want, but I just call it patterns. Alrighty. So I will go ahead, copy these three, and then actually for this part, I'm going to use my Texas State Trooper Tahoe for this because it is a little bit better, at least for this aspect of the development process. So I'm gonna just go under body ELS, and as you can see, I do have actually scene lighting in here, and I believe the CHP does also have scene lighting, so we can focus on that last. That shouldn't take too long, but we will focus on this first. So for TA running, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy all of those four here, paste it into our patterns. Let's double check. All right. Just gonna look over some script stuff real quick. Doors TK, door ELS get descended. So how is that set up under here? Vehicle TK door. Okay, so I do have ELS. Okay. Right. So that's actually a great way. So what I realized under my Tahoe here is that I actually do organize our trunk lighting with ELS and vehicle lighting, just obviously out of sake for organization. So that's what I'm going to do under here. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to our vehicle doors, TK door, and then I'll make a folder. We'll make two folders, vehicle underscore lighting, and then ELS. We'll have our brake light put under vehicle lighting, and then we will have our radar light here. Have that put under just ELS. Then we can delete that. Yep, we can delete that. And then we will review how this is set up. Cool, cool, cool. I'll go ahead and explain everything here, but I'm not going to manually script it. So essentially what this script does is we are sending pattern number to our, where is it? We're assigning this pattern number, that variable, to this here, okay? Then we're assigning ELS running to this Boolean value here. These two are controlled by the HSC tune, okay? So you do not need to worry about making a script that controls these. These are handled by HSC tune. Then we're setting up a lights off function. So with this function, its name is lights off. This essentially gets every single descendant under this folder, patterns. And what it is doing is it's matching the name of the script. So for example, if we had a script name pattern 7, what the script is doing here is it's matching the PTRN name, and if it is present in the script and it is actually a script, then it will set its enabled status under properties to false. Then it is looking for any surface GUI or light that may be enabled, and it is setting it to turn off. And then lastly, it is making any physical piece present, any physical part present, invisible. What this essentially does the same thing. However, it is routed to our trunk since the trunk moves independently of the vehicle and is subsequently under the trunk model here. So we can just go ahead and close that out. We can delete pattern 7 now. And we are going to break this pattern into, we'll break it into 3 parts. We'll break it into our ram bar lighting. We'll break it into the front of the light bar. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 lights, and then our rear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 lights. Okay, so I'll make a folder for each of those. Folder 1, ram bar. Folder 2, front light bar. Folder 3, rear light bar. Right. So our ram bar. For this, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of free, not free, but how do you call it? I'm going to, wow, hold on, pause. What I just did was I deleted the siren. That just like is part of the original model. We don't need to worry about that. But going back to what I was talking about, the RAM bar, I'm just going to creatively make my own sort of lighting pattern for the light bar. I mean, for the RAM bar. For the light bar, do you have kind of an idea of how they are usually? So we will worry about that in a little bit. But first, let's worry about going through our light bar. So events, scripts, and values we do not need. Our RAM bar, here we go. Super simple, just 4 pieces. So we will cut these. I hit Control X on my keyboard for that. And then for our RAM bar, we will just paste into at original location. Then we can go down here, delete that. All right, so we have F1. Let's just see how they look. All right, it's a good looking color. I like it. Cool. So we have an F1, F2, F3, F4. So now for our pattern 1, for our pattern 1, actually, for our pattern 0, which is our cruise lights, we will do, we'll just do a steady burn of this driver's side ion. So what I've just done is I'm going to go over to the Tahoe here that I have here. I'm going to go into the front light bar, which I know has a cruise pattern. I'm just going to Control C it, close this out, and then go up here, RAM bar, and paste into. Now, the script is going to be a lot, so I'm just going to kind of go ahead and speed through this, and you guys can just watch while I do this. All right, so that's our cruise pattern done. Now we're going to move into our pattern 1. All right, so I've got the patterns set up. Now I'm going to set up our remaining scene lighting so we have. So what is this? Ah, hold on 1 minute. I did just forget to throw these little side lights in. All right, now I have gotten all of the lights set up, including those two that I forgot to add in. And now we are just going to do our scene lighting. So we've got take it down, so we'll go ahead, move these just under our ELS. And they are called just plain scene. So we'll name this scene. Then we have our right side alley light. So that is going to be called right ally. And then our, just going to close that out. Our left alley, let's call that left ally. Then lastly, we do have wigwags. So luckily for us, AG Chassis has built-in wigwags as well. So we can just paste this into here, call this wig blue. I believe that's what they're called. We're just gonna go ahead and delete that. Let me double check on the NYPD because I believe this one has wigwags on them. It does not. I believe this Explorer does, however. It does, yep, wig red and wig blue. So we will just call, okay, oh, shoot. So I believe I actually did not put this correctly. There we go. Now we got it. Okay. Yeah, they were stuck above for a second. So we will call this, we're gonna call this wig blue. And we will call its other side that wig blue as well. And then we will call these two, oh, not that, wig, these two, wig red. And then just to make sure it registers that we have wigwags, we'll go in here and enable wigwags. Perfect, they are. We will not worry about the traffic advisor for now. And now we can go ahead and test out the lighting. And I pray that I set everything up correctly. All right, here goes nothing. So that is our cruise light. Nothing is happening. Hopefully I did not mess up. Stage 1, okay, so we have our wigwags. All right, yeah, our lights are obviously not enabling, so that's going to be an issue. All right. Stage 3, yeah, we have nothing. Okay, we'll just test out our scene lighting. Yep, that looks good at least. Left, that looks good, and right, that looks good. Maybe we can find the issue in the output here. Oh, okay, we are getting a error from something, so I will show that in Explorer. That looks like to be a residual script that we don't need anymore. Oh, went away from me. Where'd you go? CHP. Show in Explorer. Ah, there we go. Did forget to delete that. Nice. That is probably why we were having that issues with the rear left door. Just go to make sure everything else is a-okay. It looks like it is. So that was weird. Why were you not? I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward through this. Gonna try and debug. All right. So we are almost done here. We've just got a couple more things to do. One, I'm going to go ahead and fix this siren because the whale activates at a weird point in its cycle. So we're just gonna go ahead, find a different version of the whale. And then we've got one more set of lights that I almost forgot about, the two back there on the trunk, which are just gonna be super easy. We're gonna copy our rear light bar over and go into vehicle doors, trunk, door, ELS, and paste into. Then all we have to do is just have our B1 and B2, B1, B2, and then all we will do is just have it alternating. So we'll have our left, which is our 1, flash blue, which is 1, and then we'll have our right flash yellow, which is 3. Okay. All right. So after that, we're just gonna go ahead and test it out. All right. Just turn on our lighting. Cool, cool. And stage 3. Looks good. Turn on our parking brake. Open up the trunk. Okay, we are having an issue with our lighting back here. And a simple fix for that. Just go ahead and fix that real quick. All right. This should be the last test. We're just gonna make sure our trunk lights are working, and then we will be done. I'm going to skip out on doing the traffic advisor because that is a whole different beast that I do not want to tackle as far as custom ELS for right now. Perfect, cool. All right. Thanks for watching.